Before we get on with the podcast, I'd like to mention that I now have 3 books for sale on Kindle. Recommended Reading for the True Conservative, Bad Democrat, and now Evil Liberal. All available for $3.99 or through Kindle Unlimited. Now, on with the podcast.
I saw a guy with a hat on the other day. It said, "I'm an alcoholic. My favorite thing in the world is drinking outdoors, and I want everyone to know it." Well, it didn't say all that. It just said, "Yeti." That's what it meant. Come on, nobody loves coolers that much. That's like a crackhead wearing a hat that says mirrors. No, I'm just super psyched about mirrors, you guys.
Good morning. It's Friday, Fight Song Friday, July the 17th, and this is The True Conservative. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. So today, after the Serenity Prayer and the patriotic song of the day, we will have Varney and Company, Dangerous Conservative, music, and fight song. All that and more when I get back. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I should not change, the courage to change the things I should, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Thank you. Now, Varney and Company.
Up now. Stu, take it away.
All right. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, everyone. We are looking at a tech sell-off off to the end. It's a big sell-off, a tech sell-off at the end of the week. There is growing skepticism about all that money flowing into AI. Is it sustainable? And when will it pay off with higher profits? The chip makers, very hard hit again. NVIDIA, Intel, Qualcomm, Advanced Micro, Micron, all of them on the downside to the tune of 2, 3, maybe even 4%. And they were down yesterday as well. Netflix, not helping. It announced it would be putting out one report annually, not two, and it's having trouble getting viewers to keep watching their favorite shows. That's called an engagement problem. The stock is down 11.5%. The selling is splashing over into the rest of the market. The Dow Industrial is down 439, and the Nasdaq is down 573. Nearly 2% down on the Nasdaq. Sell-off. War news. U.S. forces hammered Iranian targets for a sixth straight night. Our attacks now hitting bridges and supply routes. The strikes concentrated around Bandar Abbas, an important Iranian port. Iran responded with attacks on their Gulf neighbors. The number of ships exiting the Gulf has dropped to a trickle, but the price of oil is holding right around $80 a barrel. You're at $81.31. Not much of a gain despite all the action. The price of gas, that's back almost to $4. $3.98 is your price. That's the average today. California is back to $5.43. Diesel, up 5 cents overnight, $5.05 a gallon. On the show today, Mayor Mandami declares war on landlords when issuing what he calls a rental rip-off report. His tenant protection official, appearing in a mask, declared evictions are violence. And then there's the World Cup. The final between Argentina and Spain, only 2 days away. It's the end of the best World Cup ever. A wild success. Foreign fans like our food, they like the stadiums, they even like us. Sunday, a clash between the best player, Argentina's 39-year-old Lionel Messi, and Spain's up-and-coming star striker, 19-year-old Lamine Yamal. And it's on Fox, 3 p.m. Eastern. But now look at this. That's the stadium where the final will be played, shrouded in smoke from the Canadian wildfires. It'll be tough to play in that. However, rain is forecast for Saturday. That should clear at least some of the smoke out. Friday, July the 17th, 2026.
And that was Stuart Varney, Nonprofit News Now. Back in a minute. Thank you. Not because you're malicious, not because you lack intelligence or awareness, but because you believe deep down that being kind is always the right thing to do. A bad Democrat thrives on your kindness. That's the foundation of their power. Not just their charm, not just their self-importance, but your willingness to respond in the way they need you to. They are expert social engineers. They figure out quickly what makes you tick, what makes you feel responsible, what makes you feel guilty. They calibrate their behavior to ensure you react, whether it's through admiration, sympathy, or fear. And once they know how to extract that reaction from you, they repeat the cycle over and over until you become trained to respond the way they want, almost reflexively. This isn't random, it's calculated, even if not always consciously. Bad Democrats sense what you're willing to tolerate. They test your boundaries, not to understand you better, but to figure out how far they can push you before you break. They don't want connection. They want control, disguised as intimacy, and compliance is the currency they trade in. That's what gives them access. If you agree with their view of the world, their narrative, their victimhood, their grandeur, then you're safe, useful even. The moment you challenge it, even gently, you become a threat. Now the problem isn't just that bad Democrats seek validation. Everyone wants some validation. It's a normal human need. The problem is that for a bad Democrat, validation isn't a request. It's a demand. It's not optional. It's expected. And your failure to provide it exactly as they want, when they want, will be met with punishment. That punishment may be subtle, a cold shoulder, passive-aggressive remarks, withdrawal, or it may be rage, accusation, character assassination. The point is, your emotions are no longer yours. They're tools in a system of psychological reward and punishment designed to reinforce the bad Democrats' sense of control and superiority. The tragedy is that many people, especially those who are naturally empathetic, don't realize this dynamic is happening. You feel something is wrong, but you can't quite name it. You sense you're being pulled in directions that don't feel authentic, but you rationalize it as compromise. You convince yourself you're being understanding, patient, kind, but what's really happening is that your emotional responses are being conditioned. You begin to walk on eggshells. You edit yourself, not because it's kind or mature, but because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. You learn to read their moods before they say a word. You anticipate their disappointment. You rehearse conversations in your head, trying to find the least offensive way to speak the truth. And over time, you forget what unfiltered emotion even feels like. A bad Democrat is drawn to this. They seek people who are willing to feel on their behalf, people who will absorb the tension, carry the emotional labor, fill in the blanks where empathy is supposed to be. You become the container for their insecurity, their self-delusion, their grandiosity, and they reinforce this dynamic by alternating between idealization and devaluation. One moment, you're everything to them, irreplaceable, adored. The next, you're not enough. You're a disappointment. You're selfish for asserting yourself. This hot, cold behavior is not erratic. It's strategic. It keeps you off balance. It keeps you chasing approval, seeking reconciliation, trying harder. And while you're caught in this emotional loop, something insidious happens. You lose your internal compass. You stop trusting your gut. You stop asking whether your feelings are valid. Instead, you start asking how to avoid setting the bad Democrat off. You become more focused on managing their emotions than understanding your own. Your needs become irrelevant, even shameful. You might even begin to believe the narrative they feed you that you're the problem, that you're too sensitive, too demanding, not supportive enough. They train you to question your emotional integrity. That's how they thrive. Not through direct force, but through emotional submission. They don't need to dominate you physically. They don't even need to convince you intellectually. They just need to condition you emotionally. And they're very good at it. They study your reactions, learn your patterns, mirror your values just long enough to gain your trust, and then twist the trust in the lever they can pull at will. They don't need everyone to love them. They just need you to be compliant enough to reflect back the image they want to see. Empathy must be paired with discernment. It's not enough to feel deeply for others if you can't tell the difference between genuine suffering and manipulative performance. Empathy, in its raw form, is one of our highest human capacities. It's what allows us to connect, to understand, to help. But when it operates without boundaries, without clarity, without judgment, it becomes dangerous. It makes you vulnerable to those who see empathy not as a bridge for connection, but as a lever to control you. Bad Democrats in particular are drawn to conservative people like moths to a flame. They know you'll listen. They know you'll care. They know you'll give the benefit of the doubt long after it's been earned. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and reminding you that you're not neutral and that the government has no rights.